Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight tonight, and I have to say, I'm not a boxing fan at all. Nothing against it. I just don't watch the sport, But I am kind of interested in this. I don't know why. I'm sort of wrapped into it. I think it's going to be it's going to not be an enjoyable spectacle, probably. But I don't know. They got me. I'm kind of interested now, and I probably will watch it. Mike Tyson, at 58 years old, is fighting someone who's half his age. And that's the context for this video that I want to play, which is, this is honestly one of the funniest things I've seen this year. I mean, this is brilliant comedy, entirely unintentional. But if this was scripted, I would say this is a brilliantly scripted comedic moment. So Tyson was being interviewed by a kid for her TikTok channel, apparently. And Mike Tyson seems to have forgotten during this little interview that he's speaking to a child. And so this is how it went.
Well, in your return to the ring for this fight, you are setting a monumental opportunity for kids my age to see the legend Mike Tyson in the ring for the first time. So after such a successful career, what type of legacy would you like to leave behind when it's all said and done?
Well, I don't know. I don't believe in the word legacy. I just think that's another word for ego. Legacy doesn't mean nothing. That's just some word everybody grabbed onto. Someone said that word and everyone grabbed on the word, so now it's used every 5 seconds. It means absolutely nothing to me. I'm just passing through. I'm going to die, and it's going to be over. Who cares about legacy after that? What a big ego. So I'm going to die. I want people to think that I'm this, I'm great. No, we're nothing. We're just dead. We're dust. We're absolutely nothing. Our legacy is nothing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. That is something that I have not heard before, someone say that as an answer.
Can you really imagine somebody say, I want my legacy to be this way when you're dead? Why do you want somebody? You think somebody really wants to think about you? What's the audacity? I think, I want people to think about me when I'm gone. Who the cares about me when I'm gone? Well, my kids, maybe, or grandkids.
Yeah, true.
Care?
Now, I don't approve of the language that he used in front of the child. You shouldn't use profanity. But other than that, it is hilarious. And look, I believe in talking to kids like the way that I talk to my own kids. I talk to my kids like I would talk to anybody else. I believe that's what you should do. You should talk to kids like they're, you don't talk down to them. You talk to them like they're a person, because that's what they are. And but this is, there are limits, and I think he's exceeded the limit. The best part is the kid saying, "Oh, thank you for sharing that. Nothing matters. Nothing. We're all going to die. We're dust. Nothing matters. Legacy. It's all doesn't matter." Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. It's very funny, but also sad, I have to say. And I've seen a lot of people sharing this video and laughing about it, rightfully so. I mean, objectively, it is funny. But then also saying, as I've seen in some of the commentary about this video, that Mike Tyson is right, and that he's just giving kind of a cold dose of reality to this kid. But I mean, he's not right. This is nihilism. The idea that nothing we do matters because we'll all be nothing in the end after we die isn't true. First of all, we won't be nothing after death. Death is not nothingness. And your legacy does matter. Like what kind of effect you have on the world, what you leave behind, how you're remembered, all of that does actually matter. And if that doesn't matter, if the effect and impact you have on the world and how you're remembered and what kind of legacy you leave, if that doesn't matter, then nothing matters. Right? Which is of course, I assume Mike Tyson's philosophy. It's nihilism. Which is not something we should be applauding, even if objectively it's very funny in this context. We shouldn't be applauding it. I mean, it's not actually true. You shouldn't live your life that way. Now, you shouldn't be an egomaniac either. You shouldn't be obsessively concerned with how people will think about you, but caring about legacy and caring about how you're remembered, that's not only is that the correct way to live, but it's the only way to greatness. I mean, every great person who's achieved something great in life cared about that. There are not very many. there might be a few exceptions here and there, people that are nihilists and didn't really care about anything and yet still went on sort of accidentally almost to do great things. But those would be rare exceptions. And for the most part, the people that achieve greatness and are great, it's because they think that, it does matter. It just nothing matters is not a good starting point to success in life or happiness. We talk a lot about putting our money where our values are. Let me tell you about my cell phone company, Pure Talk, and why I made the switch. Pure Talk is veteran-led, and they don't just talk about supporting our veterans. They actually do something about it. They've already alleviated $10 million in veteran debt. Every month, they donate tens of thousands of dollars to prevent veteran suicide, and they just gave $50,000 to Micro Works to help veterans learn trades after serving our country. Meanwhile, what exactly are Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile doing with your money? Pure Talk gives you the exact same coverage, America's most dependable 5G network for half the cost. You get better service, better values, and you're helping our veterans. It's that simple. Right now, Pure Talk has an incredible offer for my listeners. When you switch to your service to Pure Talk on a qualifying plan, you'll get 1 year of Daily Wire Plus Insider completely free, where you can stream my new film, Am I Racist? But remember, this deal is exclusive. The only way to get it is by going to puretalk.com/Walsh. Support Pure Talk, a wireless company who wants to be a wireless company and nothing more. And remember, it takes courage to stand for your values and takes even more to stand against those who try to silence you. puretalk.com/Walsh. That's puretalk.com/Walsh. As for the fight itself, I already admitted I don't know anything about. I don't follow boxing. I'm not an expert. So take my commentary with a grain of salt. I do understand some basic realities about human beings, however, and one of them is that age is real, and 60-year-old men don't win boxing matches against men half their age. Okay, so Mike Tyson will lose. Feel very confident in that. Okay, I might even put money on it. I mean, he's going to lose because unless the whole thing is just totally rigged and it's all for show, which I mean, of course, it's at least partially all for show. But he'll lose because he's 60 years old, and that means something. And we I tweeted something about this last night, and of course, like thousands of comments are all really angry and insisting that I'm wrong. And like guarantee, Mike, he's going to destroy him. It doesn't matter. 60 years old, this guy's still in fighting shape. Look, we have this thing in this country, and we see it in politics. We see it in celebrity culture. We see it with the obsession with plastic surgery and all that. But it's this thing where we just refuse to accept the reality of aging. We refuse to accept it. We won't accept it. And that's one of the reasons why you got so many people like insisting that Mike Tyson's going to win. And maybe it's because some of it's nostalgia. Some of it is they really hate Jake Paul. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. But then part of it is also just like people don't want to admit to themselves that aging is real. And that if you're in your 60s or in your late 50s, you are past your physical prime. You just are. Okay? Unless you were sometimes you hear about someone who's 55 years old, I'm in the best shape of my life. It's possible if you were a total lard ass in your 20s and then didn't start caring about your health until your 40s and 50s, then yeah, it's possible in that case that you could be in the best shape of your life in your late 50s. That says a lot more about what you were before than it is about you now, unfortunately. But generally, the process is, you don't get stronger with age. You get stronger with age and sharper with age up to a point. From childhood into early adulthood, hopefully you get stronger and sharper and all of that. But it reaches a point, and then you start to decline. And yes, you lose the physical part. That goes first for everybody. Eventually, the mental part goes as well. It doesn't mean everyone's going to lose their mind. Doesn't mean everyone's going to end up like Joe Biden. But you lose some of that clarity of thought, some of that quickness. That goes too. It just does. It does for everybody. I'm sorry. And you can refuse to accept it all you want, but it's still true, no matter what. So I'm getting all these responses. There's one guy that, well, I'm in my 60s and I could kick the ass of 98% of guys under the age of 30. No, you can't. Sorry, you can't. I just guarantee that you can't because you're in your 60s. And nothing wrong with that. How about having some dignity as we age instead and like accepting the realities of aging and not insisting that even though we're 62, we haven't really aged past the age of 28, you know? We've just repeated the age of 28 over and over and over again. Like how about just accepting it? There's dignity in that. Because I'll tell you one thing, you don't have to lose everything as you age. Yeah, you lose a lot of the physical part. Again, everybody loses that. You lose that. You get weaker, you get, it's just, all that happens. You get more frail, all that happens as you age. You lose some of the mental sharpness and quickness, like that goes too. But what you can gain as you age is wisdom. Okay, that's the one thing, and it's a big thing, that you can continue to gain year after year after year. So that when you're in your 60s, yeah, you're not as quick as you once were, you're not as strong as you once were, but hopefully you're much wiser than you were when you were younger, and you're much wiser than men half your age. So that is one thing you can gain. That's the good news in all this. Yes, we're all going to get old and get frail and die. That's all going to happen. If it doesn't happen to you, it's because you died before any of that could happen. But the good news is you can get wiser with age. But you lose out on that benefit of aging if you refuse to accept that you are aging. And if you cling on to your youth desperately, and you go around with this nonsense claiming that, I'm 60, I can beat anyone's ass. Like, that's not why. Because you're clinging on to this, it is blocking the wisdom that you could be gaining, because in order to, the starting point, if you want to gain any wisdom, you have to at least begin by accepting reality. There's no such thing as gaining wisdom. A person who's delusional about reality can't be wise. And so you got to start with that. And I think that's one thing that we're missing. So, yeah, Mike Tyson will lose. And then if he doesn't, I said I don't know anything about boxing, so we'll see. If you'd like to see what else I have to say, you can access my full show by going to dailywire.com or by going to the Matt Walsh Show Twitter page. Hope to see you there. Godspeed.